Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, the 19th of May. So, start off looking at news events for today, potential risk into the markets. Well, we've already seen the inflation data for the UK come out 1.5 as expected. That is expected to run into the 2% level, the sort of ceiling that they normally like to be, or I say ceiling, it's a target that they prefer to go for. It's not actually a ceiling at all. But that's still off, and it's expected to come later this year. But it's the questions whether it'll last is another matter. But who knows? But for now, it's on track, which should keep the pound looking quite healthy in terms of expectation of tapering and interest rate increases in due course. Today at 9 o'clock we got the ECB financial stability review. It was coming out, may create some volatility around that. Got Canadian inflation at 1:30 this afternoon, expected to come out quite low, actually at 0.2. It's a monthly figure, month on month. And then we've got crude oil inventories at 3:30. FOMC meeting minutes, if there's anything in those minutes they haven't sort of shared with the general public, obviously that may create some volatility in the market. I'm sure there'll be people looking to see what the discussions were over inflation within those minutes that haven't been discussed since the meeting. Right, that's it. So there's the risk for today. Not a lot really. So let's just look at the technicals. I think I'll start off with the euro as ever. So you can see from dailies, yesterday we did see a continuation of the euro pushing up solidly. It didn't really look back hardly at all yesterday. It's sort of a later retrace at 4 o'clock, but for most of the day, right through to 1, we saw sort of a solid old move up there, but then continued later on. But there's the euro. How about today? Well, high lows, high highs still run through this market. Any sustained sell-off, could see it coming back to its daily pivot. I think we missed yesterday's, and well, it's just the more we miss, the more likely we are, I guess, of hitting one. But at the moment, it is in this sort of bullish run. We could, if there's stuff in the minutes later on today, we could see a bit more of a correction coming through. But as I say, that's going to be out of our normal day trading zone. So at the moment, looking bullish, looking for retracements to buy into. The pound. So the pound here is in its divergence territories on this daily basis, but pushing back towards its February highs there. It's not. I'm just looking through here. It's really solid period up into yesterday, and through most of yesterday. It's rolled back a little bit later in the evening there into this morning. But once again, this could be just sort of winding itself up. I'm looking at it in a very simple way here, and just wondering whether we'll see a break this morning at some stage of this lovely trend line that sits across the top there. Change of that sort of side could see us pushing up towards the daily R1 and maybe beyond. But certainly from the overall action here, high lows, higher highs, it has been quite bullish. Yes, we've got a bit of a softening consolidation phase here, but we'll see how it pushes up. But it does look, that's what I'm looking for this morning anyway on the pound. Dollar yen, it's teasing me. It's coming back closer and closer to my break-even point. I've almost resigned to the fact that I will get stopped out at break-even at some point, but you never know. No, so hence why I've left it just at break-even. It's still putting this sort of the signs of lower highs, lower lows, and does look like it's finding a hell of a lot of support around that 108.85 area. Obviously, it knows my break-even point's not far below, and it's just teasing. That's what the markets do to you. They know where your stops are. Okay, so that's the yen. At this stage, I would suggest from all this, there's a reasonable chance it'll roll over. Although a lot of people may argue there's some divergence across the lows here, and it could form a base there. Okay, Aussie dollar. Aussie's been a bit of a laggard over the last while, and it's not particularly done too much yesterday. Yes, it ended up more positive, but it's not going the same way as the likes of the euro, the pound. Still long periods of consolidation with the occasional sort of thrust, and it makes it for makes for difficult trading in real terms. Yes, you could be drawing a trend line across the top here, but it looks like it's sort of done this sort of bull flag, which is just run out of momentum. So I should stand aside of that. In fact, at this stage, it almost looks like a break of that 50 will see it roll over. So, but it's just too much consolidation on an intraday basis. Canadian dollar is teasing me. It came down. I was looking for this as a bit of a target last week, and it didn't hit it. It came short of it, bounced. We'll see. It's I'm still short sitting on this. Really looking, as I said many a time, for this longer term period. This 200 monthly 200 moving average. So we'll leave that alone for now. It, just looking, it's yes, it's diverged, etc. It hasn't, I mean, it needs to break above the 2206 area to confirm that divergence more, but or trigger that divergence. At the moment, I'm thinking, well, it on the shorter time frames, well, there you go. It's already looking like there's probably a second opportunity here to get in if this continues to roll here. Maybe a bit softer, or maybe a bit earlier could be taken on the break of its daily pivot there. If it starts pushing through that 34 and selling off there, for me it looks like it could continue there quite nicely. Okay, good morning, Paul. Let's just carry on looking through here then. Couple of normal pairs I like. I like the euro yen quite a bit. That's just continuing. It's starting to stretch its legs a little bit more now. I've tried a couple of shorter term trades on this. Might have to look more swingy on it, but it is, or looks quite good. Perhaps it needs a decent retrace now to look at more swing trade on it, but has looked good. High lows, high highs all the way through there, but nothing I can see at this stage. If anything, it's probably a bit of divergence across the tops here, but just wait for a retrace on that. Okay, in other pairings then, let's just have a look in other pairings. Actually, let's have a look at the S&Ps. No further to do. So S&Ps have choked, haven't they? And I can't see these minutes making a big difference to them, but we never know. They broke my trend line on the 4 hourly here, which it's made a sort of a double top and it's failed. Broken through the lows here. It's looking softer. Now as soon as I make it say it's starting to look a bit softer, it'll rally. So we'll see, but to me that looked like it had more in it, but it's to say it's just running out here. There's that uncertainty running through the markets, and perhaps we'll get if we don't see more of a continued sell-off here, maybe we'll get some more consolidation around this sort of zone in between these two sort of main points. The recent high and that recent low may just provide us a range to be trading in. Okay, gold. So gold, again, well, yesterday, a smaller movement. We've already moved as near enough as much today as we did for the whole of yesterday. Consolidation here, again, consolidation around the highs generally sees us pushing up, and well, we might manage to break out of here unless it's a proper ceiling. Just looking at the price level, 1876, it doesn't seem overly 1880. That's not that key a number, so perhaps we'll see it plod on back up towards that sort of 1960 area. We'll see eventually, but if you were looking to get into it, I would look for more of a swing approach than trying to just break and buy it where it is at the moment though. I'm going to quick look at silver. I've just read there's a lot of movement in silver again lately, and there's a lot going out. There's a lot of demand for it. There's a lot of people calling it away in terms of their contracts and taking delivery, which is a bit less usual for silver. And it has well, it just has pushed up here. There's not a lot to add on that in terms of than anything else. This is a regression channel. I haven't looked at this for well over a month now. This is an old regression channel sitting on here. It's pushed all the way back to its mean. It looked like it was failing, and then that was it. I was sort of looking. I thought that was going to be the end of that regression channel, but no, it's pulled back within it, and it's still in this sort of bigger range. Again, for me, it's not necessarily a buy at the moment, but I will keep an eye on that. I quite like that for more of a longer swing. Oil have seen continued push breaking through yesterday. It broke through those prior highs there. However, couldn't hold on to it. There's there's news that the discussions regarding the Iranian development of their nuclear powers, etc., has been going quite well, and we're seeing this reaction as we know that there'll be quite some more oil slopping around if sanctions are lifted on Iran. So we're probably seeing that coming through the market at the moment. There's a belief that some of that will be absorbed, but that we are due to see more and more oil coming through. Maybe that would be the catalyst, but it's not been confirmed in too much detail at the moment, but something like that. At the moment, though, if you're looking at this, what I'm looking at, keep on looking at this, I'm just sort of drawing sort of trend lines across the highs here. I'm thinking it's quite a range between that sort of $67 and $63, and that's where it wants to maybe sit. A breakout of that range may give us a bit better clue to what's going on. Okay, but at some stage I think it'll roll, but I'll be waiting. Right, that's oil. Finally, Bitcoin and Kryptos for those that follow those. I can only show you on the YouTube Bitcoin, but well, let's just come up the time frame a little bit. You can see, I mean, it's surprising me a little bit more of a sell-off here. I don't think there's too many people that are believing in Musk and co too much, and this is always a risk with something which is relatively held, very speculative, and the panic sort of sets in and the selling starts happening, and I think that's what we're seeing here. It might be a longer term opportunity, but at the moment we're seeing yet another sell-off going through here, and well, wouldn't stand in the way of that at this stage. There may be better areas to be buying if you're interested in getting back into it at some stage, but it's been hit quite hard there. Looking at other markets and looking at Ethereum, that even the golden child is rolling over here. I was wondering yesterday whether it would be a point of starting to chip into it a little bit, but if you're looking, I mean, everything's getting thrown out with the bathwater here, and Ethereum's no exception. There may be some reasonable opportunities on the likes of Ethereum, and well, Ripple's held on. It never made the big highs there, but Ripple's held on. But then more so on Ethereum, a bit more of a sell-off. If you can find some support, maybe back to the 126 area. If you're looking in that sort of direction, there's a bit of support around that sort of zone, and if not there, around about the 21 and 90 sort of zone. Either of those could provide an opportunity to get in there quite at a relatively good price, maybe. Anyway, I should keep an eye on those personally. That's it for me for today. I'll catch you tomorrow. Have a great day, and bye for now. Oh, someone's asking me here. Sorry, John. Pound CAD. The pound CAD suggesting down for the pound. Let's have a look at your pound CAD for you then. Yeah, the pound's been a bit slow. It's looking at the big picture here. It's lower highs, lower lows. Yep, it's certainly been running in that direction. Much more consolidated though on the 4-hourly picture here, and I wouldn't bet against the Canadian dollar. We do have inflation out later on the for the Canadian dollar. If that comes out of a bit of a surprise, I don't know. The pound has actually started on the short term here, high lows, high highs. The pound's just stretching its legs a little bit more at the moment. I personally, on the short side, I'd wait for it to start breaking beyond the sort of there's a half decent trend line there. And now I know I'll be behind the curve there, but I'd wait for the breakdown of this. At the moment, with the higher lows coming through, it might just stretch its legs. As I said, we'll see what happens with the Canadian inflation later. If that was to come in surprisingly higher, in which case we could see this take a drop, and that might help the case. But the pound's doing quite well. If you look at the pound overall, it's doing reasonably well. Anyway, there you go. I wish you a great day. Bye for now.